Hey, welcome to the review.
Welcome back.
It's week 2. And tonight, what are we discussing, Mark? We're discussing
Hamilton.
And I had never seen it, never really even heard any of the music except the room where it happens, because when we were building sets, they kept playing the room where it happens over in the room where it was happening.
Yeah, and shockingly, that's not my favorite song in the show.
Yeah,
I wish they would have played more variety for you instead of like killed you with one song over and over again.
And then the only other one I heard was one time when JTF 2 years ago when we did a talent show, 4 girls sang the song Burn, I think.
Burn.
Yeah. And
Yes.
they sang it. And so then I got to see it in the new light. There's actually not 4 people on that song. It's just one, Well, and then I think
right.
So, yeah, but I finished, I put it off to the last minute. Not that I didn't want to see it, but I've just been really busy because I'm moving. I'm getting ready to move this weekend and stuff. Yeah. But I watched it yesterday because I thought we were going to film the show yesterday. So I watched it and I finished 10 minutes till 6.
Oh, my.
And I'm honestly glad that we had all these technical difficulties and couldn't film because I couldn't stop crying. It was one of those, it was really emotional for me and I just couldn't stop crying. I'm going to start crying now thinking about it. So we have a guest that we're going to bring on right now because they're backstage waiting. And this guest is going to discuss Hamilton with us when we start discussing and going to sing a song. So Mark, why don't you announce the guest while I open the room and let him in?
Okay. Our very special guest, Denise and I have both had the privilege of directing at Center for the Arts, and he's going to go on and do great things. Please welcome Caleb Mitchell.
Woo-hoo-hoo! And he should be coming. There he is. He's sideways.
Hi.
Hi.
Wait 1 second.
There he goes. He's going to turn himself around.
There we go.
Yay. And we're not having any technical difficulties tonight, Caleb.
Yes.
I was so sad last night. I was so ready to hang out with Caleb and talk to him. I've been bragging about it all week. And then, but I was just telling Mark that I had never seen Hamilton, never actually seen it, because we're going to review it tonight. And I had never. So I watched it yesterday. And I finished at 10 minutes till 6. So it's a good thing that we were having technical difficulties because I couldn't stop crying. It was really emotional for me and I couldn't stop. So I'm like, I'm going to blubber through this whole TV show. So
yeah, I have to say the same thing. And I don't know, Caleb, did you get to see it live at all?
No.
Okay.
I think if I would have saw it live, I would not be able to function afterwards.
So we splurged and I mean literally got the back row of TPAC as high up as you can get, and they were still enough money, but it was a nice Christmas present for the kids. And so we went over the New Year's Christmas break and saw it live, and all of us knew the music. Leah maybe less, but we all were completely blown away. It lived up to every bit of hype that we had heard or thought or imagined. And I know we'll talk about this too, but for me, and I will speak for my family, because we all talked about what stuck out to us the most was the incredible lighting. And being up in the balcony, we could see everything that was lit on the stage floor, which I think if you're up close and personal in the first few rows, which is obviously great, you do miss a bit of that. And we miss a bit of that also in the Disney version.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, it was good. The lighting was good, but I can imagine being in person.
The lighting and then the subtleties of the choreography, where it wasn't distracting, it enhanced. and it had a purpose. And I mean, I was
a well-oiled machine. Everything moved the right way. It wasn't a big dance thing like Newsies, but it was just perfect. It was just where it should be. Yeah, I liked it.
So what did you think, Denise, about the style of the show? Is very fresh.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that? And she's a self-professed non-musical theater person. Denise, and then I want to ask Caleb his thoughts on, Lin-Manuel Miranda's obviously setting the stage for many up-and-coming composers and for the future of musical theater. But what did you think, Denise, as somebody who...
Well, first of all, the whole time watching it, I could just know without a shadow of a doubt that Caleb Mitchell will be playing a role on Broadway in Hamilton.
Of Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr.
Yes, that's the one I said. That's the one I said.
Synonymous.
The whole time I said, that's going to be Caleb. That's going to be Caleb. And I know it will be because Caleb is, and in a few minutes from before, Caleb is going to sing for us. But after we discuss Hamilton, I will talk about how wonderful and great Caleb is. He's so talented. It's true. It's true. You will be in that show and you will play Burr, and I will say, I know it. And then I'm going to break the bank, get tickets, go to New York and sit there and watch you do it. And I'm going to sob the whole time. That's true.
I agree that is such a perfect role for you, Caleb, just knowing, working with you and your voice and how you fit that character. Is that a dream role?
Yes. I think, honestly, pretty much every role in that show kind of is. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to be Aaron Burr. And then I'm like, oh, I want to be Thomas Jefferson. Hercules Mulligan would be fun. I think that the whole show, I'm just like, I want to play every part, literally.
I don't blame you.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
You will. Anyway, it was great. I think one thing I noticed, oh my gosh, was I am all about passion. I am all about passion rules the world. Passion is, what are you passionate about? But these performers were so passionate about the story that they were telling. Look, I'm going to start crying. But they were so passionate about it that it took my breath away. It's an understatement that they were talented. Okay, they were talented, but they were passionate and they communicated that story so well. And it had me holding my breath so many times, just like I was trying to catch my breath. But I realized not only were they passionate in telling a story, but there is such a powerful thing with song. Song is powerful. You could tell the story verbally, but you put music behind it and you sing it and it brings you to your knees. It is incredible. And it made me angry too, that right now we can't sing because I'm like, this is a demonic force. This is like so bad, but it's like this song. It's like you can tell that story verbally, but you sing it and it takes you to your knees. It was amazing. Yeah, I love the style. I loved everything. I did not have one criticism with it. Except I thought Angelica was a little bit of a hypocrite because she kind of liked him and she wrote little flirty letters. And then when he was slept with somebody else, she was kind of like, we're wrong. I'm like, given the chance, I would have. So
I was convinced that you would either completely love it, be head over heels in love with it, Denise, or that you would not like it at all.
Why would
there are certain people who just, and they're few and far between, but there are certain people who just don't get it. They can't follow it. They don't understand it. It's not their thing. I don't know. I will be honest. I am not a hip hop person. Shocker of all shockers. I know I think the stereotype, yes. But that's the beauty of what he has accomplished with this amongst, the casting of multiracial people in, very white, old, as he says, old dead white guys, Lin-Manuel Miranda said. It's America now presenting America then. And that's what I love.
And what a freshness they brought to it. They brought it to life. An old story that's just kind of been boring. Nobody's interested. And they brought it to life. And it's really, really good.
So Caleb, is the first time you saw it on the Disney Plus?
Yes.
And what was Did it meet your
I
expectations?
It met my expectations and more, because I already knew as soon as it was coming out, I was like, okay, I probably will not be able to not watch it multiple times, just because the actor in me was like, I want to see like even the small bits and details that went into the show. And I think out of the entire like show, the ensemble itself was what like got my attention a lot more than the leads did. And I think that's really because each and every movement, every phrasal of like choreography, it meant something. It was either setting tone, setting time, or setting place, or it was just purely just background stuff. But literally the ensemble was fantastic, and not a single one of them were like, oh yeah, we're just here. But everyone was giving their complete all into the story, and they were so in grasp and in tune with what they were, with the story that they were telling. Also, I love Leslie Odom Jr. as Aaron Burr. I think that he brings such a real take on the character, and I think that he left big shoes to fill when he left the show. But just the small details of his acting for Burr until the very end when it finally just explodes. I was just like,
so
that's insane.
So I'm the nerd of the group who pulled off a bunch of fun facts. And speaking about Burr, it's so fun to get in the brain of the little details that you might not notice. So choreographer Andy Blankenbuehler, he had Burr throughout the show walk in straight lines, and Hamilton move in arcs. And the distinction was that the pragmatist tendencies of Burr, and then the ambitious leanings, the how Hamilton thinks outside of the box. And I love, now I would go back and watch that and go, that's really fascinating. So it's the subtleties, and I love how even costumers, they think of colors and each character has something, but it all worked together, and it's great not to notice those things, but to go, that was, and that's the beauty of musical theater and working together.
And the depth of it, the depth. And like,
So I also have some quotes, and I think, Denise, you will love these too. My favorite song in the show, and it's so hard to pick one, but if there's one in the soundtrack that I kept going back to, is It's Quiet Uptown. I love
that was
the forgiveness. That's when I got so emotionally lost. Because the song says they're standing in the garden, Alexander by Eliza's side, she takes his hand, it's quiet uptown, and they simply sing forgiveness. Can you imagine? And what
that's when I started sobbing.
Huge theme for that show, and just for life in general. It's just 2 or 3 lines that he put in the show, but how impactful. So that's my favorite.
Yeah, I think that was one of my. It's hard to pick favorites, like trying to pick a favorite child, because they were all so good. I think the sad thing about the story was, what I realized is, politically, all this crap didn't start. It started right after Washington, how they just would ruin each other's life to win. Politics has always been that's hard to swallow, because I would think just back in the old days they were all kind and they played fair. They didn't. It's always been a nasty game. It's always been bad, That
really is interesting for today's climate. My goodness, you're right.
They did it way back then, and you would just be like, whoa. I mean, they were going to destroy him, so he came out and said, what he done? He confessed, but they're like, now you won't be president. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. All right, I have some questions, some trivia. Caleb, you're first. You might know this.
All right.
So, how, as we know, this is on Disney Plus, so Disney purchased the rights. How much did Disney purchase the rights of Hamilton for?
Wow.
Ooh.
There was a bidding war, obviously, amongst many movie companies.
Trying to think. Maybe I'll put a big one out, like 90 million?
Close, 75 million.
Million? Oh my
75 million.
God.
And it's
Wow.
on Disney Plus, probably, you know, whatever, for forever. And it's, I love being able to go back and watch, you know, my favorite part or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Another trivia question. I'll do this one for you, Caleb, and then I'll give you one, Denise. All right. So, as you know, you talked about Jefferson. He's got to speak. It's actually Lafayette's got to speak really fast.
Yes.
Do you know how many words he fits in 1 second?
Oh.
What is the average word per second in his rap?
I do believe it's somewhere around like 15 to 20.
Words?
20 words per second.
Whew, that's fast. 6.3 words per second.
Wow. I can believe that.
But the other fun fact is that there's 20,520 words in the show. And if it were at the pace of a regular musical, because so much is spoken fast and rapped and all that, it would be 4 to 6 hours long if it were a regular type musical.
Just imagine.
And it still runs. It's over a 2-hour running time. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Ugh. Here's a fun one, Denise. So Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote a song on his honeymoon. You know, when you're creative, you're creative. And when you have that moment of inspiration, I guess you just go with it. So can you think of a song, I'll say it's kind of a shorter song, that he wrote on his honeymoon?
I was going to, until you said it was a short song, I would think, what is more appropriate for a honeymoon than The Room Where It Happens?
That's a very good guess.
But I don't know.
Yeah, he actually wrote You'll Be Back, King George's song, on his honeymoon.
Oh, that was hilarious.
And he didn't have, the spit.
But the
right?
okay, but here's I think so many things when I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, he spit and it stayed on his lip. It didn't go airborne and infect an audience. So we should be able to see. It just stayed right there. I didn't see anything floating. I saw the bullet float, but I did not see his spit float.
I also heard that Disney wanted to CGI that out.
Why?
Why?
Just because they could. So, and Lin-Manuel Miranda fought about it. He's like, no, that's live theater. That's
it's not only live theater, but it shows he's a drooling baby. You know, that's just his character. I ain't being baby. I get what I want.
And I think the actor who played him, Jonathan Groff, said that whenever he's like on stage, that's just he spits a lot. So consonation, he's spitting out the words.
I have one more nerdy fact, and then I'm going to be done with my nerdy facts. So in 2015, the U.S. Treasury announced plans to replace Alexander Hamilton on the $10 bill. It's 2015. And they wanted to replace him with a noteworthy American woman. But because of the success of the show, they decided to change the $20 bill instead. So Hamilton gets to stay on the $10 bill, which probably no one would have really cared all that much pre-Hamilton musical. And then Harriet Tubman's going to replace Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. So that's a pretty big thing.
That is a very big thing.
Nerdy fact.
Well, so Hamilton was great. And also, he also wrote Moana, which is another one of my all-time favorite shows. And I think that just seeing Hamilton and seeing the way he did it, and then knowing that he wrote Moana, he's also in a show I've been watching on HBO called His Dark Materials. He plays this guy. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce his name, so I can't. I'm gonna try. But he is a pilot of a hot air balloon like thing, and he's really good actor, and I love him in the show. And then I saw him in Hamilton, so yeah, it's great. It just shows you the heart of him, like the heart of that person when you see something so amazing that brainchild and that he birthed and came from his heart. And then the story of Moana too, and that's such a beautiful, beautiful story. I know people laugh because they say, really? Maui and all that, but if you know what he's the heart of her. And then when she goes back to replace the heart and she sings the song, I Know Who You Are, she says, they've stolen the heart from inside you. This does not define you. And so I think that's such a powerful thing there, because sometimes, people act out or misbehave and we just say that's who they are, but you don't realize their heart sometimes has been stolen. Something has been taken from them, and that doesn't define them. Their actions doesn't define them. You just have to, it's you to love and put that heart back. And so he has such depth to him and his stories and his lyrics. Yeah.
He's so smart too. Like if you ever hear him be interviewed, he's obviously articulate, and he comes up with, raps and stuff, like on the spot. He's been on Fallon and come up with, like, he's crazy smart, and you can just tell his brain does not stop. I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah, me too.
I also cannot wait. I think what was really nice to see was the fact that he's a composer that did the full research on what he was writing. I watched a documentary a couple of days ago where he was talking about his process and how he's writing all the stuff. And he literally said that he went in and just took these bits and pieces from different rap styles from the 80s and the 90s and basically put those forms into characters that would match those rap types. And I think that was so smart, because that way it feels genuine, because George Washington is very concise and raps in a monotone way. Lafayette and / Thomas Jefferson are quick and paced because they are quick-witted in my mind. I think that's just smart writing, and I don't think anyone else would have thought about that except for a smart composer.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah. So let's talk about Caleb.
Yes.
Super talented, and he will be on Hamilton one day. I know he will be in that show. Because Caleb, you have what it takes. So all you have to do is just go audition, and you can do it. And when they open Broadway back up, you should go audition for it. But and your dream was to play a bunch of roles, and you can. So you're whatever ones you choose. But Caleb, I first met Caleb when he auditioned for my show Pocahontas, and we all know there's a wedding coming up this weekend that we're all going to be at.
Yep.
And so I'm officiating the wedding. And I met the two people that are getting married at Pocahontas, but I also met Caleb at Pocahontas, and he was my Kyokum. And man, his voice, the first time I heard it, just that is incredible. And then let's see, Caleb, you were also my Emmett in Legally Blonde.
Yes, I was.
That's the first time I heard him.
Yeah, really?
That has to be one of my favorite shows to date from Center for the Arts. Yeah, it has to be one of my favorites.
That was a fun show. So he was.
I couldn't believe afterwards when I asked how old he was. He said 18. I couldn't believe
it. And then he was my Seaweed in Hairspray. Woohoo! That was great. So, and he's been in several shows, not just the ones that I direct, but other ones. So
he was Sebastian in.
Was Sebastian.
And he was.
I missed that show.
He was Joseph in MTSU's Joseph, and I did have a front row seat to that, and I did cry through the whole thing because I was so he is incredible. So what have you been doing, Caleb? What have you been up to?
Well, not a lot, considering that the whole pandemic has kind of cut off pretty much everything. I've been working a lot, but I've also been doing a lot of auditions for stuff, and kind of just making sure that the old pipes stay warm and stuff like that. So not a lot.
Yeah.
Tell us about the award you just won. the singing, then is it Nats or what was it?
Oh, Nats. I compete.
Which award? There's so many.
I competed in the national levels for NATS, which is the National Association for like singing. And I first won the regional competition, which was mind blowing because I was like, whoa, that's not what I expected to do. But then I moved on to national level and I was like, okay, well, it's been fun, but I don't think that, I'll get that far. And then I was informed that I'd made top 3 because I watched the live stream with my vocal teacher and I was like, that's insane. Like top 3 as in the nation for that field. I was like, that's mind blowing. I came in 3rd place, which still is insane. But it's just one of those weird things where you're like, it is what it is. And if it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. And then, it just happens. And it was just insane.
Congrats. It's awesome. It's huge.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm never surprised because I know he's great. So he's going to sing for us tonight. Are you ready?
Yay.
Do you want me to sing now?
Yes. Okay.
All right.
What are you singing?
I will be singing a song called September of '92. It's by a composer named Jonathan Redgelt. He happens to be like one of my favorite composers. He's a contemporary musical theater composer. But yeah, I really love all of his music because it's nuanced and it tells a story throughout like 3 minutes and it's really, really good. So this is September of '92 by Jonathan Redgelt. An old beat-up diner in a town late at night that you're just passing through. You're tired and hungry. You've been driving far too long and you feel you've barely begun. As the waitress comes over to pour you your coffee, a smile comes across her face. She asks what you're having, but you have no answer. Your heart just begins to race. September of '92. I met a girl who made all my dreams come true. In a time when I needed a shoulder to cry on and nothing was working, she took all my troubles and made them fly away.
Hey. So good. Oh my goodness. Caleb, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to watch you grow.
Yeah.
And you remind me of someone I went to school with. I'm not going to name drop, but you know who I'm talking about. Someone I went to school with who has been very, very successful. And she just had that factor. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. And I hope that for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I know it.
So are you a senior? Are you done? Where are you?
I have a year and a half left and then I am done. And
you're at MTSU.
And I am at Middle Tennessee State University, yes.
Yes. Okay. And plans after school? Have you thought that far?
New York.
I have. Absolutely. I think this past year I've been like, so what exactly does that look like? But in about a year and a half, I'm making like plans and like decisions to move up to New York and then I guess start and see where life takes me. Yeah.
Good. Good for you. Well, I'm going to transition us into our fundraiser, and we both want to challenge you to make a video to help raise funds to remember us little people at the Center for the Art and where you got some of your start. And so Denise has thrown the gauntlet down. And
oh my God, Caleb, I'm in first place.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to say that.
Although I feel so guilty being ahead of the what's it, Bobo? Charlie
Bartlett, yeah.
Charlie Bartlett. I feel so guilty because he's a cute little boy, and here I just take the lead, but not very far. He's breathing down my neck. He's cute. I almost voted for him because I felt so guilty that going ahead.
We have about 15 videos right now. It just started Friday, so that's good. And we've raised so far like over 3,500, which is great. It goes to the middle of September. So those who are wondering, how do I have to do this now? Yes, because the sooner you do it, the more money you're going to raise and the more chances you have to win. First prize, how much, Denise?
$500.
Yeah, right. You could use that, Caleb. Second place is $250 and third place is $100. So it's cash prizes, and all you have to do is, you know, share it with all your friends and family, email, Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger, whatever works to get it out there. It benefits you and it benefits the center.
The fun thing, Caleb, about ours is that, like, I set a goal, and so I dared Mark to set the same goal, and whoever reaches theirs first, the other one has to do the dare. So I dared him because he talked so horribly about cats. And so if the movie Cat, so if I reach my goal first, he has to dress up like a cat from the movie Cats, and he has to wear the outfit all day. We have to go to Starbucks and have coffee with him in the cat, and then
Starbucks is new. Now you're
and he has to sing memories from Cats while he's wearing the cat costume. That's why you should vote for me, because everybody would love to see that.
That's ingenious. That is ingenious.
You hated Cats too, right? I mean, come on.
I can say, I was horrified the entire time watching that.
I've never seen it.
Even Andrew Lloyd Webber said it was a mess. So
well, I didn't understand. This is like the biggest thing. Cats, the movie, is based off Cats, the musical.
Yeah.
In the musical Cats, they have costumes of cats. What was the point of making it CGI? What was the point?
It was really creepy.
It was fur technology, though. It was cutting edge fur technology. And I heard that they CGI'd out the buttholes, and I'm not even kidding. They hired somebody to give each cat a butthole, and then they decided, no, we don't want them now. So then
that's a bit too much.
Okay, urban legend or not, it's a funny story.
That's horrible. That makes me like it even less.
Right, but to talk about the fundraiser, I have another nerdy fact. So, as you know, the Center for the Arts has tons of different talented people. We have a gallery, we have artwork that we show. We have, children's camps. We have, people who play in some of our pit orchestras that are great musicians. So we've had a piano solo. We've had vocal solos. We've had monologues. Denise did one. We had someone in drag. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Caleb, but Nick Mullins, and I told him I'd give a shout out. Nick Mullins did Think of Me from Phantom of the Opera in the original key, in drag, and he slayed it.
He was incredible.
I have to see that.
Yeah. He deserves to win, but I want to win because Mark has to dress up like
we had a comedic collaboration. Bethany did a funny thing with Nick and Sophie, Bethany True, and speed art. Evie Brown did speed art, and it was really cool. She drew something and they time-lapsed it, so it went fast for like a minute.
Oh, that's so
And then we had Lindsay Worthen played piano and sang for herself. So we've had some really... I did sing. I did a little Bring Him Home, Caleb.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I was going to sing Life of the Party. Where is that one?
I know, right? Now she wants to sing with our dog, so it might change because she's, you know, the variety of talent. And Petey, our dog, is quite a gifted singer, so we might use him to our advantage. But we hope you sing.
$500. I'll vote for you.
And it's super easy to do. You just upload a 45-second or a minute long video and just go on the site and watch the people too. I mean, it really is. In our little, Center for the Arts in Murfreesboro, we've got so much talent. It's great. And it's sad we're not seeing it on stage. So this gives us an opportunity to share it.
Really sad.
Yes.
Sad.
Yes.
I've been sad, but then when I saw Hamilton and saw the power of song, I got sad. But I believe that we will overcome this, that we will be back, that we'll be able to sing, and then we'll appreciate it so much more and won't take it for granted. We will. We have to.
I believe that's such a big thing. Like, the arts has been through a lot, and it's not the first time that the arts has been on the bad slope. But the thing about artists is we never truly die.
True.
Never truly die.
And why is that?
We evolve.
Yes.
We're a passionate people. We're passionate about art. We're passionate about the stories we tell. Whether we sing them, their stories, or we act them out, or paint them out, we are passionate about it. And that's why, because passion will not give up. Going.
Other quick fun fact: we had Don Henry is in his 80s.
Yes.
And he did a song from My Fair Lady. And then Addie Hazen is 9 years old, and she did a drawing. And so the age range too, all ages. Get your grandparents involved,
Yes.
I mean, this is for everybody.
Keep art in your heart. Fight for art. We're fighting for art.
That's right.
Yes.
Alive. Just because, really, seriously, like, I know I was saying this, there is a lot of talented people there. I mean, the two men on the screen, both of you are extremely talented. But that's where I met Caleb. That's where I met you. It's not only the art, but the friendships and the relationships that have been built through doing art together, and just, raising our voices together in song, dancing together, telling our stories together, rehearsing, everything that we go through. And there's so much to it. So, wow, I just can't wait till we come back and get back into it. And where Caleb, although he will go on to bigger and better things, but I can't wait to see him go on to bigger and better things, because that's what he's meant to do. And so we just got to get it back.
Yes. Thank you for being on our show, Caleb.
Yes.
No problem at all. I'm glad that you guys asked me. This was fun.
And next week, I don't know what we're going to review. We'll figure something out. But
we have been requested to do something, right?
Yeah, somebody requested that we review all the older Disney movies, like the cartoon ones, like from Little Mermaid on up, and review those and give our things. So I think that might really be good, because I think people just know and focus on certain ones, but there's some in that list that have been forgotten. One is Meet the Robinsons, which I loved, and the other one was Princess and the Frog, which is my all-time favorite.
I love that one.
It's always
love Princess and the Frog.
And I want them to do
Princess and the
Frog Jr. that has the best music, the best characters, and one of the best stories. So yeah, those two, Meet the Robinsons and Princess and the Frog, have kind of been overlooked with all the princesses. But yeah,
so maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that, or we'll do something else. But we love getting the suggestion. We want people to tell us what they want to see and hear.
Comment, give us some love, tell Caleb how great he was singing, and that we can't wait to see him on Hamilton, and vote for me so Mark has to dress up like a cat, and tell us what you like.
Vote for Denise so Mark can dress up as a cat.
Yes.
Oh,
do it.
Good.
I feel hopeless.
You're going to have to do it. Meow. So let's go buy some Meow Mix and get it ready. That's Double Dare. You have to eat a spoonful of Meow Mix too.
Okay.
I love you, Caleb. Thank you for coming on our show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And we will see you next week on
The Review. Bye.